Hey guys, it's Suzanne. I put together module 1, which contains some YouTube links. Think of it as a curated list of what to watch to introduce yourself to what is programming, what do programmers do, what are programming languages, and then an introduction to Python. Python is a very straightforward language that reads a lot like English. So even if you don't know how to program, if you were to read a basic Python program, you could probably figure out what it's supposed to do. The module is in the units tab. Let me show you exactly where it is. Okay, I hope that you can see my screen on the recording. I'm just going to keep going and hope that it's there. So if you look here under guides, I have guide 1. I've labeled it module 1, introduction to programming, and they are not in order. Facebook doesn't allow a way for me to order these, so I numbered them. So just go in order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1, introduction to programming. I have a list. Actually, this is just really tells you what the contents are, so we could probably get rid of this. But introduction, programming languages, getting started with Python, and then some exercises you can try. So module 2 or section 2, programming languages. So I want that open. I guess that's the whole post. Okay, number 2. I have 2 videos linked here: an overview of programming languages, and then a video on why learning Python first is a great idea. So this is the first video about programming languages. It's a little bit detailed. It's less than 10 minutes long, but this is done by a computer scientist, and it gives a nice kind of high-level overview of programming languages. The second link, why learn Python first. This is a fairly short video, just over 2 minutes, explaining what Python is and showing some examples of code. Module number 3. Oh, I can just click over here. Getting started with Python. So there are several links here. You should set aside some time, I don't know, maybe 30, 45 minutes to get Python working on your machine. You can program in one of 2 ways on your laptop, either in a text editor, just like you would type something in Notepad or Word, except you can't use Word because there's characters in there that the program compiler can't understand. But these videos will show you how. If you're using a Mac, Python 3 is already pre-installed, so you can pretty much just get started. If you're using Windows, you probably have to install it. So one of these 2 videos should show you how to do it. I believe there are some simple code examples in these installation videos. But then go ahead and watch this last video, writing your first Python program. This program here is a little bit involved. I guess you have to cut and paste these links to YouTube. But this one, your first program, is when I say a little bit involved, what I mean is that there are some skills that are sort of in the next step of things that you'll learn in the next module. But this is just to really get your first program running. So you don't have to understand everything that's going on. If you have trouble following along as he's speaking, the code is actually right here. It's everything between these hash signs. So don't just copy and paste, but watch the video, type in as you go. If you can get this running, fantastic. If you can't get this one running, don't worry about it, because the next section has a much longer tutorial for you to follow through. This is just to see if you can get it running and get a program to work, to ensure that you've got everything set up on your laptop just fine. And learn number 4. This is the big one. If you need to skip to one, you can go straight to this one. If you've used Python before and you have it on your computer, This is a guy named Mosh. I believe that's his first name. He's a great instructor. He moves really fast, and he even says that you'll have to stop and pause. He is a fast talker, and he obviously edits out his mistakes, and he already has everything pre-planned. So he goes through things, boom, 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 boom. The video is an hour. Expect this to take 2 hours, maybe even longer, because you're going to have to pause the video, do the exercise, make sure it works the same way that he's showing, and then troubleshoot if you need to, and then move to the next part. You can watch it straight through if you want, and then watch it through a second time as you code. You can watch one section at a time, watch him code, and then you code. What I wouldn't do is type and code as he's explaining what he's coding, because then you're just focusing on repeating what he's doing, and it's much harder to learn the information. So watch at least one full section, pause the video, do that section, rewatch the parts that you need in order to get it working. And then the last section here, some self-directed exercises. These are just some brainstorming ideas that I came up with on the spot. You can feel free to come up with other ideas. If you are able to do everything in the Mosh tutorial, you should be able to do these exercises. So if these look straightforward to you, great, it's just going to be a review. If these look scary, like how in the world can I ever do that? Then you'll be amazed at what you can do after you get through the Mosh tutorial. The Mosh tutorial goes through a whole lot of parts of Python. You can probably do number one here, write a patient history Mad Lib program with very little of the tutorial having gone through. So you can read these exercises first, and then as you watch the Mosh video, it's sort of like taking a test. Read the question first, and then when you go through the test material, you know what to look for. You know, when you're doing a board test with those big long descriptions, same kind of thing. The first one is a history Mad Lib program. So you're going to ask the user to input, you know, remember Mad Libs, verb, adjective, a color, a number, be creative, make it up. You're going to ask for a bunch of inputs, and then you're going to output it in the form of a simple HPI. So I just gave a silly example here. Number two, write a medical calculator. So this is kind of a cool idea so that you can start to see how some tools that we may use a lot are actually created, like MedCalc. MedCalc MD. That is written in React, which is a set of tools that we'll be working towards. You could write your own MedCalc MD when we get to that point. I've written sort of little mini calculators, and it's a lot of fun sort of brainstorming how would I represent that problem. This one's really simple. Pseudohyponatremia, you only need two inputs, sodium and glucose, and you do some math operations on it, and then you spit out the corrected sodium. For a bonus, you can give an appropriate message depending on the value, whether it's high, low, in an appropriate range. And then this one is an exercise in using a control loop. Control loop lets you repeat certain tasks until a certain condition is met. Like until I reach the fifth player, I'm going to pat them on the head and say duck. So player number one, duck. Number two, duck. Number three, duck. Number four, duck. Number five, the program is going to say, uh-oh, here we are at number five. I'm doing something different. That one's going to be goose. So those are just some ideas. Come up with your own ideas. It's fun. It's really fun to get an idea as you're watching Mosh or a tutorial. When that happens to me, I will pause the tutorial and see if I can write that program right away, because I'm in a heightened state of learning, and you really learn the material best when you can create your own program and not just follow a tutorial. Don't be intimidated by program. When I say program, it could just be 2 or 3 lines of text. Programs can be huge, hundreds of thousands of lines long as well. But it can just be 2 or 3 lines, 4 or 5 lines. As you learn additional little pieces, you'll get new ideas about how you could enhance an idea that you had before. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. Yeah. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say is, as you're going through these videos and these modules, post your questions. You're going to run into stumbling blocks. Post your questions in the main discussion forum. When you post a question, the best thing to do is take a screenshot of your code that you've written, a screenshot of any output that you've created. If it's not creating output, you can describe what's happening, describe what you expect to happen, or what you would like to happen, what's actually happening, and anything that you've tried so far to solve the problem. And we can help you figure it out. We'll help you get through and just keep moving forward. So module 1, program languages, why Python, Mosh tutorial, fantastic tutorial. And yeah, that's awesome. Let me know what you think about it. If it's a nice, clear progression, or, there's thousands of different ways to do things. But for now, to get people started, I think creating a curated list of exercises so that you're heading in the right direction is a really great way to get up to speed quickly. So thank you very much. Talk to you guys soon.